Okay, now in the video. Who do you think would be stronger in the Final Fantasy Coliseum Death Battle thing? Xaldin or Kain Highwind? Now, we're going to be using the Dissidia Kain Highwind because I haven't got all the way through 4, which would make it kind of a bad and unbalanced battle if I just, if I focus on a Kain version of Kain that was in a game that I haven't got played all the way through. So, yeah, pretty much, I'm going to be using his skill set to sit down. They both use Highwind abilities. They both use extensive Highwind abilities. Such as when Xaldin uses those spears and uses the dragoon jump, which made me suspect that Xaldin was actually a Highwind before he became a nobody and joined Organization 13, but he's not. His name is just Dylan. It's just Dylan. Xaldin is just the Dylan you see working at Sam's Club that one day joins the organization. Sorry, scratch that, but no, he's just Dylan. He's not a Highwind, but for some reason, he has the powers of Highwind. Now, maybe Xemnas could replicate powers from people that are special, because there is a Highwind in Kingdom Hearts. It is Sid Highwind from Final Fantasy VII. So it could be possible that Xemnas took notice of the Final Fantasy characters and actually used their genes to alter the nobody forms known as Organization 13, and each of them have unique, or maybe one point Dylan was actually a student of Sid Highwind. Now I know this sounds crazy, but maybe he was a student of Sid Highwind, when he was still Dylan, and he had the military outfit on before he became a nobody at the end of Birth by Sleep. Now, Xaldin is one of my other favorite organization members besides Axel, so this is going to be really hard since I'm a Final Fantasy head more than I am a Kingdom Hearts head. This is going to be a really hard battle. But I gotta say, both skills are pretty balanced. Xaldin can use the lance and the dragoon jump as good as Kain Highwind, and Kain Highwind is born into the dragoon clan. And hence why Kain was a formidable foe in Final Fantasy IV. When you actually had to fight him after he betrays you, he was a formidable foe for the reason why he was born into that power. Now, I gotta say, Xaldin would be actually a better character because Xaldin had to learn this. So, again, we don't know very much about Organization 13 and the characters in there, but it could be said that it could be possible when Xaldin was still Dylan, he trained under Sid Highwind. But when Sid Highwind actually found out, Sid Highwind turned his student down when he turned into a nobody because, Sid is part of that organization with Leon to hunt down heartless and nobodies. So, Xaldin pretty much felt a little bit betrayed when he was still Dylan and felt like, what, I like this Xehanort guy. I think I'm gonna join up with him, and there it is. So it could be expanded on. He could have trained and used that ability, but the weird part is he's not a Highwind, and there is already a Highwind in Kingdom Hearts, and that's Sid. And those who don't know, it's the Sid from Final Fantasy VII that they use for Kingdom Hearts. So there's already a Highwind, and there's always one thing about Final Fantasy games, and I guess this could go into Kingdom Hearts as well. There's always one member of the Highwind clan, just like there was RNA in 15. Now, it kind of is weird that Xaldin could use his abilities, so it could possibly be that Dylan trained under Sid, and then Dylan turned against Sid because, even though yes, Xaldin wanted to actually have his heart back and become a human, Xaldin was still kind of evil and fucked up, considering the way he put Beast through all that stuff and tried to put a wedge between Beast and Belle. He's still an evil motherfucker. It's not like bad as Xehanort or, Lark Scene. Like, I just hate the character, but You know, he's still gonna do bad stuff to people. He's still gonna do wrong because he's a traditional Organization 13 member. Now, I gotta say, Xaldin is a very powerful foe. And Xaldin is a very powerful character. You know, it could be argued that he's one of the strongest Kingdom Hearts characters, you know, out there. Besides Sephiroth, you know, Master Ericus, Terra, and, you know, full-grown Kingdom Hearts 3, well, maybe not full-grown, but, you know, older Sora. Xaldin could be known as one of the most powerful characters in Kingdom Hearts, you know. I guess Axel could too, because Axel could sacrifice himself to get rid of Xaldin. But this is not a Xaldin versus Axel. This is a Xaldin versus Kain Highwind. So, yeah, it could be arguably he's one of the most powerful characters in the series. Considering he's also third in command of, he's also number 3 as well. Which makes a lot of sense, because after you defeat Xaldin in Kingdom Hearts 2, you know, it pretty much pushes you to the point of the game where you're going to face harder enemies. That's when the training wheels comes off. That's when the training wheels comes off. When after you defeat Xaldin. Since Xaldin is number 3 and third in command of Organization 13. Now, not to say Kain Highwind can't do anything about anything. You know, Kain Highwind, again, born in the Dragoon family and probably trained for years and years. Not to mention he's one of Golbez's strongest puppets ever. Hence why Golbez was, you know, was one of his favorite servants. Even more than the Archfiends of Chaos, considering he technically is stronger than the Golbez Archfiends of Chaos. And I said Golbez Archfiends of Chaos because that's the Final Fantasy IV Archfiends of Chaos. So pretty much, you know, very powerful foe, and born in the Dragoon clan, trained a lot for a while, and he's also Cecil's rival as well, considering, you know, he has the shared affections with Rosa as much as Cecil did. But then again, if we were talking about Final Fantasy characters in their perspective world and not migrating them in the Kingdom Hearts world, I would say that, yeah, Kain Highwind has a slighter chance at winning. You know, and it's if Xaldin lets his guard down. That's if Xaldin lets his guard down and lets up. If Xaldin takes Kain seriously, then Kain Highwind could, you know, then Kain Highwind couldn't have no chance against Xaldin. But from what I've seen right in the Dissidia, as much as I like Kain Highwind as well, I gotta say that, you know, I think it's a possibility that Xaldin could win on the fact that Xaldin was actually able to hold multiple spears and do a bunch of dragoon jumps, you know, while Kain only wields one lance. Xaldin, you know, Xaldin wields multiple lances. Xaldin wields multiple lances, you know. So, you know, with all that, I get, you know, that makes a lot more sense. Although, like I said, it's not like Kain can't hold his own. You know, Kain is Cecil's rival for a good reason, and Golbez's favorite servant. You know, born into a powerful family like the Highwind clan and then the Dragoon clan, nonetheless. Dragoons pretty much have the power of dragons. They're humans with the power of dragons. Which pretty much, that, you know, Xaldin's fight style is the same as the Dragoons. So Kain could actually, you know, easily find out the weaknesses of Xaldin's fight patterns, because Xaldin's fight patterns and, you know, fighting style, that's why I thought that Xaldin, when he was a human being, you know, was a Highwing, considering the fact that he used a Highwing Lance Dragoon fighting style. Now, it could, not to say that anyone with the Dragoon fighting style can't beat someone who's originally a Dragoon, but Dragoons were born to learn the fighting style, you know, as Xaldin just pretty much adopted it. It's kind of like that whole meme with Bane, where in The Dark Knight Rises, where Bane says that you think the darkness is your ally, but I was molded by it. Meaning Kain was molded by the power of the dragoons, and knew how to use the power of the dragoons way better than Xaldin because he was born. It was in his clan. It was in Kain's clan to use that. As for Xaldin, from what we've seen, it looks like he just uses that fight style. And and it could not to say that fight style, not to say that fight styles can't be beat if it's from originator. It could happen. Final Fantasy has had heroes beat their villains who started a fighting style. If you really look closely, Sephiroth and Cloud's fighting style is kind of similar. And Cloud was able to beat Sephiroth, so what does that tell you? And that means just because someone originated with that fighting style don't mean anything at all. It don't mean anything at all. Technically, a person could actually master Bruce Lee's fighting style without being born into the culture that used that fighting style. So it don't really matter. It's actually invalid. Yeah, sure, Kain was born as a dragoon and, mastered the fighting style before Final Fantasy IV. As for Xaldin, adopted it. Adopted the style. But, fighting style or not, it's not going to say that Xaldin can't beat Kain. And I've seen more of Xaldin's movesets than anything else. Not to say that Kain does not have a chance. Like I said, Kain, originated with the fighting style that Xaldin uses. And would know the weaknesses to it. But I'm pretty sure Xaldin has more of a combat experience, considering before he became Xaldin, you've seen him with a naval uniform. So pretty much Xaldin was actually part of the Navy of the Kingdom Hearts verse before he was a nobody. So it could be possible that it could be possible that he would also find ways to defeat an actual dragoon, the one who originated that style. Because how much he's trained with that style. So it don't matter if someone's born with that style compared to train. It's a matter how you use it. And Xaldin looks like Xaldin's a tactician-like fighter. So pretty much with all that, he's a tactician-type fighter. So Xaldin could, and then plus Xaldin could use his obliteration when he turns those lances into a dragon. He could use those obliteration. And even though Kain Highwind is fast and strong and one of the fastest Final Fantasy characters out there, you gotta understand that, if Xaldin took the fight seriously and got into the Lance Dragons and just did as a permanent obliteration, if it hits Kain Highwind would lose. So I'd have to say Xaldin, and not out of favoritism, but out of facts and extensive research. Plus, the multiple lance wielding is actually beneficial to Xaldin winning this battle. So I'd say it would have to be Xaldin. So may the crystal be with you. Like and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and have a good day. And like my new scenery, that's cool too.
Hate it. Get up and do something with your life. Always screaming at me. Yeah. You know this. I go on this underground sound. I said, and always when everybody's trying to say I'm copycatting everybody else, but I'm more original than what you have come up with. Etros, curse. Etros, curse. Etros, curse. Etros, curse.